What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? We ain't got no baddie yet. We waiting. We waiting. We waiting. Y'all gonna pull up on me. Pull up on me. Whether y'all speak Spanish, English, or French, pull up so we can talk. Pull up so we can talk. So we can talk. Do some talking. Tell you about my struggles abroad. My struggles abroad. My struggles. Tell you a little Spanish. Tell you about my struggles in general. Yeah, so we doing that, and we doing some Spanish, we doing some basic French. I'm just waiting for somebody to connect. Yeah, and I'm browsing over here on my computer at the same time because I just can't sit and look at the camera without doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to wait till somebody to connect. So once they connect, we can get the conversation moving more, get it moving. But right now, I'm just gonna chill out until y'all get here. Until somebody get here. I don't think I need is one person. One person to talk to. That's all I needs. All I need, and I can answer questions. So if y'all have questions, I can answer any question that you got. Any question that you have. I had somebody connect yesterday that was a follower, and they also have viewed my videos. I was so happy because I was like, "Where have you been all my life?" Yeah, so they had connected, and I was like able to talk to them in Spanish, talk to them in some English. So I was happy yesterday. I'm like, okay, I got somebody to connect. Okay, they in the house. So I'm trying to grow my channel. I'm trying to grow my channel. Ooh, hey. How you doing? Read that description too, because I got my website up in the description. I got my website that you can go to and you can learn Spanish. Oh, they left. They left. Oh my man. I hate that. I hate that. Oh my God, I hate that. I hate when that happen, man. But I'm gonna still stay in for a little while longer. A little while longer. Um, yeah, I'm gonna stay in a little while longer. I got a lot to talk about. I got a few things to talk about. But yeah, I got a few things to talk about with y'all. But I'm trying to wait till somebody to come up in here. Wait till they connects. I'm putting the S on everything. Wait till they connects. I'm trying to. I just be wondering, like, how people be getting like a lot of people on their lives. I think consistency is one thing. Motivation, consistency. Yup. I'm trying to get somebody up on her mind. Oh, we got somebody. Hey. As soon as I say hey, they leave. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? What's your name? Well, where you from? See, it's hard. It's hard, man. I can see an improvement though. I see an improvement. I see that more people are connecting more often. It takes a lot of patience. I need to talk as if ain't nobody, as if it was 100 people up in here. That's what I need to do. All right, so yeah, y'all can look at this live later, early, or whatever. Um, so I be talking a lot about my dream and my goals, and a lot of things I talk about really is it be like the platform I work, because I work as an interpreter. So I work from home, and like I say, I'm live from Mexico. I work from home. And right now, my only focus is mainly to grow my business. My main focus, grow my business. I have mentioned time and time before why I'm trying to grow my business. Okay, the reason that I want to do it and that I am going to do it is because I'm just going to mention something that is obvious in the world that we live in. and this is my experience. I feel like I'm dreaming big. I have big dreams. I have been an interpreter working over the phone for at least about 6 years now. 6 years. And I enjoyed a lot of it in the beginning when I first started because I had a job with the bank initially. It was a credit union. And at that time, I was living in Delaware, but I would drive from Delaware, which was Wilmington I was living in at the time, and I would drive to PA. I used to work in Chaz Ford, PA. And even though I have had worked different jobs and stuff, I always knew in my head that I wanted to be an interpreter, or I wanted to work a position where I was able to really use my Spanish skills to the fullest. Because I always been oh, excuse me. You say salud. In Spanish, you say salud. And then in French, you say a te sué. This is how you say bless you. Like in English, bless you. All right. But I was working for this particular call center, credit union in Chaz Ford, PA. But in my heart, I always knew that even though I was working there, I mean, I knew that I wanted to do something where I utilize my Spanish skills more. And it brings me to why I got my own website today. www.russelltrilingual.com, because I teach people Spanish, I teach people basic to intermediate French, and I do offer interpretation services. So I worked for that company for about a year and a half, close to 2 years, but not quite 2 years. And I actually quit there because I started working from home as an interpreter at that time. And I worked for this particular company. I mean, I might as well just say their name, that the company I used to work for. I mean, I don't work for them no more, but I'm gonna just mention this particular company name. It was a company that was called Cyricom at one point. And as I worked there, I was getting like a lot of calls. And then I also had worked for Language Line before. Those two companies I had worked for. And Language Line used to pay like 13 an hour. Let's just put it out there. So my other job was paying like 19 per hour. So I just was like, or 18 or something like that at the credit union. So I was like, even though I'm sort of kind of taking a pay cut by dropping that job, I feel like it was sort of a gain because I wasn't going to have to drive to work no more. So I was going to be saving on gas. I felt like Language Line aligned more what I love to do, like, because I love to speak Spanish. I love languages. And then Cyricom aligned more to what I did. And Cyricom was paying me more money than both jobs. So I was like, and then what I was doing was, I still had my job at this particular credit union I was working for. I might as well say the name. It was Franklin Mint. And I love it. Like, I love them. Like, I have no complaints about their system. I mean, it was a really great company. Very family oriented. So I just decided to quit that job and then do at-home interpreting, because before I used to go to work, I don't know if it was like 10 o'clock or something there. Before I used to go to work, I would work as an interpreter. Like, I would work from home for like maybe an hour or 30 minutes or whatever, just put in any time. And I was just sort of kind of measuring how much work was available. And when I used to answer the phone, or when I used to log into their system, Cyricom, the calls would be like so immediate. And I was making 40 cents a minute. So that was like 24 an hour. So if you imagine it, back to back, 24 an hour or $18. I think I was making like $18 at the credit union. So I was like, it's worth me just going ahead and just taking this job and just doing it full time with this particular interpretation, this type of company, because I'm gonna make more money. So I might as well just do that full time. Like, what's the point of me still working at, Franklin Mint? That's just how I felt about it then, because I had Language Line, which was paying 13 an hour. Then I had the Cyricom, that was paying, well, it was like 40 cents a minute, $24 an hour. So I'm like, with those two jobs, then I was living at home with my brother. Me and my brother was sharing an apartment together. So I'm like, ain't no way I could really lose because I could afford to make less because, okay, we living together, we paying rent, split the rent and stuff like this. So I don't have to even really work at the credit union no more. So I'm like, okay, I want to pursue my dream, which is to be an interpreter. So that's what I did. I just quit the job and I decided to pursue being an interpreter, working for Saracom and working for Language Line. And I was good. Like I was set. And I think I worked for Saracom for some years. Like at first, man, I was making so good at first that I was like, okay, I want to do this. You know what I'm saying? Like it was more than what I was getting paid at first, and it was consistent. And then at the same time, I could make my own schedule, so it wasn't like I had to go in from like 10 to whatever or whatever time. Like I was just able to pick up, log in, and just work whenever I wanted to work. So I'm like, okay, this is what's up. You know what I'm saying? Like I was happy, and I'm like, I'm speaking Spanish. I'm at home. I was like, and this was a little bit before the pandemic. So what happened was I ended up quitting Language Line because Language Line was only paying $13 an hour, and I was dedicated to that job at first. But what I figured out was that both jobs had like the same amount of call volume, like very high call volume. So when I was logging on to work for Language Line, it was just like not worth it because I was still making money over here at Syracom, like for more money. Like I was getting paid more per minute, and then hourly it averaged out to be more. So I'm like, why would I keep working for Language Line when they just paying me 13 an hour? Like that job was basically robbing me of my time to where I could be making more on Cyricom. So I was like, okay, well I gotta leave them. Like both of them was working home jobs, but I'm like, I gotta stop that because that's not really fair. I'm not really making what I want to make with them. Like it's not fair. Like 13 an hour to be an interpreter. I was like, nah, mm-mm. So I just quit that job and I started doing just only Cyricon. And I noticed I started making more money because they had pretty much like the same call value, but I was just getting paid more per minute. So I was like, okay, I quit Language Line. I'm like, okay. And I started working for just Cyricon. Now for the first 3 years, like, I had moved to Mexico, all that. Still working, still doing my thing, you know what I'm saying? Still doing it. And it was no problem. Like my call volume was still good, but it was one point that I had got to a point where I said, I'm so tired of just, because what they did at first, when I first started working with them in 2019, they would send you bonuses. I think people work for Uber and stuff and they be getting bonuses too. Like if you work for Uber and I think if you logged on or whatever at a certain time, they give you like a bonus or something like that. So I was getting paid $24 an hour, right? Because I got paid like per minute. So 40 cents a minute was 24. Then on top of that, they would give me like, 25 cents a minute extra. Look here, like I was balling. I was making some good money. So I was making 24 an hour. On top of that, I was getting paid bonuses, which made me, I was making about 30 some dollars an hour. And I think the most I probably making one day, I probably making like 40 some dollars an hour at some point, like during real busy periods. Man, I was killing the game. You could not get me off that system. I was killing the game. Like I'm on it. I was on it. And then as time went by, I started noticing that things started to change a little bit. Like it started to, like one point, I think like the second year in or something like it, or third year or something that I was working, I seen there was a lot of calls coming through, but they was not sending us bonuses no more. Like I had got so used to those bonuses, like those 25 cent, 30 cent bonuses on top of what you already making, that they stopped it. They had stopped it for a minute. And I'm like, why did they stop it? Like, I'm like, what? Like, it still wasn't really bad to me, $24 an hour, 40 cents a minute. It still wasn't bad. But it was like, I got used to receiving that extra pay. So I'm like, why y'all stop? That's what I'm saying to myself, you know what I'm saying? So one day, because the call volume was just crazy, overwhelming, and so it's like the same work, and I'm so used to that extra pay that it was like part of my regular check to me. So I just decided to say, you know what? I'm going to actually call them up or send them an email, and I'm going to try to request for a raise. Like I said, I'm finna request for a raise because I just don't think it's fair for me to do the same work. And it's like I'm not really getting any type of raise after these years that I've been here. I'm like, I should at least have a raise now. So I tried to, email them, tried to ask for a raise, and I was denied. So I was like, dang, you know what I'm saying? But I still was getting some call volume. So I'm like, okay, cool, 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 cool. Still getting call volume. So eventually things, like I say, with this type of industry, when you're working as an interpreter, this is for you if you want to be an interpreter. This is for you if you've been an interpreter. Maybe you had a different experience, maybe the same experience. But the way it worked, the system is not designed really for you to be really independent. And that's what brings me to my business, my dream and stuff right now. And why I'm doing my own thing is because the system's just not designed for that. In the beginning, when I had started with these particular companies, it was just working in my favor because I guess, it was, they needed a lot of people. It was a high call volume. But it's really not long-term designed to really have that stability if that's what you ever looking for. It's just not designed that way. It felt good. Like, okay, I was getting calls in the beginning. Everything was cool. It was like I couldn't complain. But all this, what I'm saying is that eventually what happened is, call volume died down. Some days you was barely making whatever. I noticed that they was trying to switch everybody more to like a hourly model, but the hourly model was like 16 an hour and like way lesser than what I would have been making. And from what I hear, when it's like that, the system is controlled in a certain way. So certain interpreters that are willing to work for the lower hourly rate, they're going to be sent more calls. So basically, they manipulate the system and send the calls to the interpreters that are willing to work for 16 an hour, less an hour. And they try to send the people that me like working 40 cents per minute, $24 an hour. They try to send them less calls. So they reroute the calls in a certain way that crazy, right? Like they reroute those. So that was like just an experience that was good in the beginning. And eventually it just got to the point. And like I said, I ended up getting really fired from the job eventually because, they say that I had complaints and stuff like that. But I think the business at this point is sold. Like, I don't think their business is even exist at this point. So companies just be making up excuses and stuff and not really behind the scenes, something else going on. You know what I'm saying? And they not really being honest and being transparent with you. So I lasted 6 years at that company, 6 whole years, 6 years. And like I say, my job as an interpreter was not easy because the clientele that you deal with is not understanding, not really valuing you. So I was like there for 6 years. It was a long time for me now that I think about it. And I just felt like when I first started, I should have just already had like a plan, a game plan to say, don't depend on this. This is not your everything. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have the same business mind, like starting my business, doing Trilingual. I didn't have it at that time. I was just like, I'm just depending on these calls. I'm depending on it. But it's just like I say, people, it was crazy. It was crazy. Like I say, it was just some months I wasn't hardly making nothing. Some months it was okay. And it's just like, you got to be in front of the computer, stuck in front of the computer. Wait, like, you know what I'm saying? It's just not a very, the industry of that. And I'm not going to speak for every company, but from my experience, it is designed for them to make money. You are the product, and it's designed for them to make money off of you. You know, they take your time because you have to still wait on calls, even if you're not getting paid. Like a lot of the times when I worked for the previous company, I wasn't getting paid to just wait on calls, but you still, you gotta eat, you know what I'm saying? So you gotta make some money. So it's just like, you just have to wait it's so unpredictable that it was just like, and things dwindled down so bad that it was just like, it was just crazy. So this brings me, the reason I'm telling you this story, that's what motivated me to start RussellTrilingual.com. What motivated me was that because I feel like if I create my own system, that's the only way to win. Like, you're never going to win working for a system like that. You know, it's just what I'm saying. You can come in if y'all want to, but you just can't win. It's just no way. You know what I mean? Because they're always 24/7 trying to think of a way to profit more. That's just period. They always thinking about that. They always just in their head, it's a business. So even if you're doing good for a second, 2 seconds, whatever, they always looking for ways to make the most profit. So I feel like it wasn't no way to win. You know what I'm saying? And it's not. It's really not. It's really not. Like I have just seen like the different dynamics and the systems of interpreting businesses. And like I say, it's some that's a little bit more generous than others. I'm going to say that for sure. It's some of them that are a little bit more, but it's still at the end of the day the same system. You know what I mean? Like, because it's just designed to be that. You know what I'm saying? So unpredictable, unstable. It's just the way. But for the people that own the business, obviously, for them, it's not the same thing. Obviously, they making money regardless or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my story, y'all. I worked that job, did it for a long time, 6 years. I wish that I kind of sort of could have back then like had like more of a business mind to say, you know what, I'm going to create my own website. I'm going to teach Spanish, Mexican Spanish. I kind of touched on that during those moments, but I never just really went hardcore on saying like, I'm going to have my own website. I'm going to do, like, I never thought about this. So now, really, at least for the last maybe year or so, I've really been going hard on just having my own website. So that's why I have russelltrilingual.com. And my only thing now is just getting visibility. Getting people to watch the live videos, getting people to go to the website. A lot of times it feel like nothing is happening, but I know something is happening. But yeah, that's really my story, y'all. I want to venture out and talk to y'all more, like teach y'all Spanish and teach y'all things. But like I said, I'm trying to get my visibility up so I can really start to do it. Like I have everything I need, but like I said, it's the system. That type of interpreting system never really works. Like in the beginning, like I said, it was cool. You know what I'm saying? In the beginning, I was making pretty good money. It's just like later down the line, stuff just started to change, So yeah, I'm surprised I talked this much. Almost 23 minutes. Nobody has come in and said nothing. So it's very a hard game. Like I say, because I feel so unheard. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I got my tools, I got my talent, I got everything. But yeah, I feel so unheard. But I'm still doing my thing. I'm still never giving up. I'm still gonna hold on. I'm still gonna keep doing what I know I love. Because I just feel like, well, if I have had these particular jobs that I'm talking about, and people have wanted me because of my talent, I want to use this energy or that energy to create my own. Like I said, my only challenge is just having people to subscribe. I got a description here, so y'all can look at the description. You can see my website. It's here. But this, I just really want to, I really want to help people too. So that's why I'm talking about this live. I'm talking about my struggles too, so I can help people, because so many people don't know certain things. You know what I mean? Like I was one of them people that was interpreting for years, and I never felt like it was that way. And then we can also talk about some of my struggles in Mexico. We can talk about that. That's helpful to people that's coming here and they want to live here. It's helpful for people coming and visiting. I feel like I'm a guru. I'm full of information. So if you want to know anything, I will try my best to respond to your question. If you're talking about coming to Mexico, if you want to ask me questions, before I came, my family really thought it was dangerous. And they was like, you shouldn't come to Mexico. That's what they told me. And I think it's dangerous. This what you want to know? This what you want to know? I ain't got nobody to say nothing yet. I think like anywhere, anywhere can be dangerous. It's a different system than the United States system, just in everything. I don't think it's dangerous. I think the system can be a little bit unorganized at times. Like it's sort of like the calls that I have talked about in my previous videos. Like they sort of kind of unpredictable because I'm still working in sort of kind of unpredictable system now. Like I work as an interpreter from home, but the call volume is definitely still different than when I used to work for the other company. And then at the same time, it's very unpredictable, which is very unstable. So I feel like the system in Mexico, like depending on what you're dealing with, is pretty much like the same thing, like just unpredictable. Like I did talk to people about my resident card because I'm a resident in Mexico, and I was telling them that what happened was I think I only told this story in Spanish. I think I only told it in Spanish, but I can tell it in English too. So what happened was when I first became a resident was in 2021 in Mexico. 2021. And every year, like during the what happened was okay, I had to renew every year. So they like when I first started renewing my resident card, they were saying like it doesn't matter if it's expired, you still can get it renewed. It doesn't even matter. Like they was just like, come on through, you okay? It doesn't matter. We're gonna renew your card every year. So they had this particular phase where they was just doing it, and I adapted to that. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna renew my resident card because just so you know, when you become become a resident in Mexico, you have to really the process is you have to go over to the United States first, and you have to apply at the consulate. Is it consulate there? You have to apply first there, and you do your first process there. You have to qualify with your income, or I think it's a few other ways you can qualify, and then from there, if you meet the qualifications, like you got the income requirements, you meet that, you pay your fee. They stamp like your passport with like a picture of you, Mexico, like a Mexico. It's like Mexico and it's your picture. And then you have 30 days to fly to Mexico, to come to Mexico, to do the second part of your resident. So that's like your second, it's a two-part process. So when you come to Mexico, you got to go down to this immigration, like it's called IMN, the institution, the National Mexican Institution, National Immigration Institution. Like I know where it's at. It's the one in Polanco. It'd be a whole lot of people. So I had to go do the second part there. And everything came out good. Like, and what happens is when you're going through the normal renewal process, when you go through the normal process, you have to, like the process I went through, you can only get 1 year of residence in Mexico. 1 year. Then after that, you can request 3 years. So you don't have to go down there every year. You can request up to 3 years. So, but the first time when you get it, you guys just do 1 year. So I did my first year. And I think, the second year that I had wanted to go down there, I think I was reading some online stuff, and I was reading that, okay, you really got 60 days past your renewal date. Past your expiration date. That's what I was reading. But I sort of kind of was getting a little misunderstanding a little bit. There's really, if you leave the country within 60 days of your renewal, and it expires when you're out of the country, then if you came back to Mexico, you got those 60 days to technically renew. That was like, it's a little more to it, but that was basically what happened. So I ended up letting it expire, and I went down there. Or did I? Let me see. Yeah. I let it expire. And like I said, you got to pay money every time you renew. So I had let it expire, and then I went down there and I said, I want to renew my card. Like, what do I need to do? I want to renew it. They were saying like, well, no, you don't have to renew it. It's not necessary for you to renew it. I'm like, I'm not going to get into any trouble if my card is expired. Like, I'm not going to get into no trouble or nothing like that. They said, no, you okay. And I was like, well, how long do I have to renew it? They was like, really, whenever you ready. Like, that's pretty much like really loose with the rules. Like, whenever you get ready, you can just renew your card. I was like, what? So I was like, when is it going to end? This particular thing going to end? So the way the tone of the conversation sounded was like, okay, this sounds like this something's going to definitely last for a long time. So I just said, well, if she's saying I ain't got to renew now, then I'm gonna just wait and save that money, and I'm gonna probably come back like just later. She's saying that they've suspended. Yeah, they had suspended the rules, like the rules that you see on the Mexico site. They had suspended those rules, so you can just really come in and just basically just say I want to renew it, and they just pretty much have to just renew it because it was the COVID season. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just save this money and just come back maybe in a couple of months or whenever, and just hope they still doing this renewal thing where they don't follow the rule book. So I ended up getting renewed that year, and then I think 2 years, a year later, I renewed it again. But every time I was renewing it based on our initial conversation of her saying, the lady that was there at the particular office, saying like, you ain't got. But then, like I say, one day, like I think, right, 4 years you have to renew first before you can qualify for a permanent resident. So last year I had let it expire again because I said, you know what, they don't really care that it's expired because for these past few years I've been getting it renewed this way and they haven't been like telling me any other thing. So I waited. Went down there and it was like, it's expired. You cannot renew normally. And I was one step away from getting my permanent resident. And they were like, no, you can't renew like that. They were like, no, you can't do that. So they had a program that they don't have no more that was called a RNE program, which was a regularization program. But they was telling me if I get into this program, I gotta pay like so many amount of fees. I gotta pay, I can get 1 to 4 years. I didn't have to leave and start over like the normal process, like I had to go to the consulate in the US and stuff like that. And I'm like, I got the paperwork, the receipts and everything that shows that people have allowed me to renew after my car expired. So they were like, no, the rules is not that way. COVID is over. We're not doing it no more. And I'm like, what? I'm like, I had 1 more year to get the permanent resident because I had already been here 4 years. And they was like, no, you can't get it. I'm like, I was so upset. I was like, man, like these people not letting me renew. Like, is this a joke? And I had confidence that when I went down there again with the paperwork showing the previous years and the receipts when I had renewed past the expiration date, they were like, no. So I sort of kind of said, I'm going to try to fight this. So I tried to fight it a little bit. And then I was like, you know what, forget it. I'm not going to renew. Like, forget this, no. And eventually, me walking around, not really having the car up to date. I didn't feel like they were really that strict on that. But it was like, at the same time, I just am a type of person that would prefer to have something and not need it than to not have and then you just need it. You know what I'm saying? Because just like I was thinking every year was going to be the same and they was going to renew me, even if it was expired, I was like, any day, anything can happen. And I'm walking around and ain't got my residence and my status up to date. Rules and laws change all the time, especially here in Mexico. So eventually I just went on ahead and said, I'm going to just go ahead and pay the fees, all what they asking for. I'm going to pay that. And it was, I think in America money, it was probably about 700. Let me see. Probably about 800 some dollars. It was like a lot. But I had got 4 years though. So my card doesn't expire to 2028. And I have to be down there just early in 2028 before it expire. If I decide to renew and get the permanent resident, I just have to be down there early. I just learned a lesson. That was just a lesson learned. Like you just, being here in Mexico, if you ever thinking about moving, stuff change all the time. So you really want to go by the book, regardless of whatever. You always want to go by the book of what you see on the website. You want to go by the book. You want to be ahead of the game. You know what I'm saying? But I don't really blame myself, but you wanna always go by the book of what you be on top of. You always want to be on top of it. You don't want to let nothing expire. You don't want you don't want to do none of that. But yeah, that's just my story, and I'm still living over here. I'm still living over here, so this is my story. I mean, and I just decided to get into my own African American culture, my black culture, which I've always been into, and I'm loving it. I love it. I mean, it's really my passion. Like if I could make money doing it, it'd be even better, because I wouldn't have to depend on these interpreting platforms. But I love Janet Jackson. I love hip hop, MC Light. I love a lot of stuff. So, and then on top of that, like I said, I teach Spanish, so teach some French. So I just think I'm a rare breed. I'm different from anybody. I'm gonna keep on fighting for my visibility on these platforms, just like I was fighting for for my resident card. You know, a lot of stuff that I've been through, and I put a lot of energy to fight for certain things, and it's like you really can't change a system. You know what I'm saying? So I say all this to really say, just to sum it up or to wrap it up. What I'm trying to say is that me having my own platform, my own system, I can put this same energy that I had from these experiences into my own system, into my own platform. I mean, it really is not really my own system, because I'm on YouTube and TikTok. So even with that, I still feel like it's some type of limitations. You know, like I mean, you may not be getting the visibility that you want, so it's still some type of system, really, within the system. You know what I mean? So, but I guess your mindset determines a lot too. You know what I mean? But I have noticed some growth in my channel, my YouTube, and my TikTok, slowly but surely. You know what I'm saying? Slowly but surely. I mean, yeah. But I'm gonna wrap this up. I mean, if y'all want to go back and look at this live later, y'all can do it. But that's all, y'all. Peace out. Hasta luego.